Darkness shroud the blackened trees, which, contorted by some unseen violence, shed their tired leaves and bend their boughs towards a grey earth of severed bird wings. Among the grasses, poppies bleed before a gesticulating death, and young rabbits spawn dead in traps stand motionless, as though guarding the silence that surrounds and threatens to engulf all those that would listen. Mute birds, tired of repeating yesterday's terrors, huddle together in the recesses of dark corners, heads turned from the dead black swan that floats upturned in a small pool in the hollow. There emerges from this pool a faint, sensual mist that traces its way upwards to caress the feet of the headless martyr statue, whose only achievement was to die too soon, and who couldn't wait to lose. The cataract of darkness forms fully, the long black night begins, yet still by the lake a young girl waits, unseeing she believes herself unseen. She smiles faintly at the distant tolling bell, and the still falling rain.
Good evening and welcome to Marquis' Victorian Puppet Theatre Halloween Extravaganza. And tonight have we got a show for you. We have got ghosts, we've got ghouls, we've got stories of the supernatural, we've got dark poetry, we've got monster melodies, and we've even got the ghost of Vincent Price. How cool is that? And we've got a banging show, so let's get this party started. Grab your favorite corpse and a pint of blood, and let's get going, as they say. First up, we've got Satan, who will be performing a song from his favorite opera, Faust, Le Vœu d'Or, or the Song of the Golden Calf. So let's give it up for Satan.
An antiquated tree is cherished of the crow, because that junior foliage is disrespectful now to venerable birds, whose corporation coat would decorate oblivion's remotest consulate.
Stingy Jack was a miserable old drunk who loved playing tricks on anyone and everyone. One dark Halloween night, Jack ran into the devil himself in a local public house. Jack tricked the devil by offering his soul in exchange for one last drink. The devil quickly turned himself into a sixpence to pay the bartender, but Jack immediately snatched the coin and deposited it into his pocket, next to a silver cross that he was carrying. Thus, the devil could not charge himself back, and Jack refused to allow the devil to go free until the devil had promised not to claim Jack's soul for 10 years. The devil agreed, and 10 years later, Jack again came across the devil while out walking on a country road. The devil tried collecting what he was due, but Jack, thinking quickly, said, "I'll go, but before I do, will you give me that apple from up that tree?" The devil, thinking he had nothing to lose, jumped up into the tree to retrieve an apple. As soon as he did, Jack placed crosses all around the trunk of the tree, thus trapping the devil once again. This time, Jack made the devil promise that he would not take his soul when he finally died. Seeing no way around his predicament, the devil begrudgingly agreed. When Stingy Jack eventually passed away several years later, he went to the gates of heaven, but was refused entrance because of his life of drinking and because he had been so tight-fisted and deceitful. So Jack then went down to hell to see the devil and find out whether it were possible to gain entrance into the depth of hell. But the devil kept his promise that had been made to Jack years earlier and would not let him enter. "But where can I go?" asked Jack. "Back to where you came from," replied the devil. The way back was windy and very dark. Stingy Jack pleaded with the devil to at least provide him with a light to help him find his way. The devil, as a final gesture, tossed Jack an ember straight from the fires of hell. Jack placed the ember into a hollowed-out turnip, one of Jack's favorite foods, which he always carried around with him whenever he could steal one. From that day forward, Stingy Jack has been doomed to roam the earth, without a resting place and with only his lit turnip to light the way in the darkness. Welcome back. We've got some great poetry there. We've got a great little tale about Stingy Jack. Oh, what a great show so far. Up next, we've got Lucien, who'll be performing a song from one of my favorite ghost stories. And the song is entitled The Portrait of Jenny. So let's give it up for Lucien.
A portrait of Jenny, more precious to me than a masterpiece, however famous it be. The portrait of Jenny is is etched on my heart, where her features have been sketched from the start. Ah, the color and beauty of line, and the glow of her spirit divine, all cast in heaven's own design, with the portrait of Jenny. I never will part, for there isn't any portrait of Jenny except in my heart. For there isn't any portrait of Jenny except in my heart.
If you were born at midnight, some say just at twilight, you were probably born with the gift of being able to see ghosts and other spirits and don't have to be told how. Of course, all cats, dogs, horses, and roosters can see ghosts, but lots of people cannot see ghosts, even though they can usually hear them. And lots of people don't believe in ghosts because they say they never saw one. So anyone who wants to see a ghost, here's how. If you really mean it, if you really want to see a ghost, go walk around a grave 12 times backward, and the ghost will rise and ask you what you want. Some people say that just walking around the grave will raise the ghost, and some say you have to do it backward 12 times. Or if you want to summon some one particular ghost, go to his grave at night and call him by name. He will rise and tell you what you want to know. Some ghosts can be summoned by music. If you sing or play some piece of music or some special musical instrument that someone loved, especially during life, the ghost will come to see you. Some people say that you can raise a ghost by whistling. You might, and you might not. It has happened. Once a man was walking along a road at night whistling some tune, and a ghost fell into step beside him whistling the same tune. You can call back some loved ghost by too much grief and weeping. Almost any ghost will come back to comfort those they love and stop their weeping. The poor souls cannot rest if you weep too much. They will come back and beg you to let them rest. You can become a ghost seer by looking in through a hole in a coffin. This is especially true in some far northern countries, like Lithuania, for instance, where people leave little windows in the coffin so the dead can see out. You can see ghosts and spirits by peering at them from between a dog's ears. It is well known that dogs can see ghosts. So if you look steadily from between a dog's ears in the direction the dog is looking, you will see the same ghost he sees. You can see ghosts sometimes if you gaze steadily through a ring. If you look through a keyhole, you'll either see a ghost or the devil. In fact, there's no telling what you might see. Better not. Just say you aren't scared. Just say how brave and nonchalant you'd be if you ever saw a ghost. And see what happens.
We're back, and lots of good stuff going on so far. But up next, our friend William will be performing a song from his project Dark Symphonia entitled Beauty in the Grave. So let's give it up for William. caretaker is walking through a cemetery when he notices an old crypt with its door broken and hanging. He peers his head in when a gentleman steps forward out of the darkness. Unaware of the other gentleman, the caretaker then sits down on a stone slab in the center of the room and takes a flash of lightning to shake off the chill. The gentleman then begins to tell the story. Good afternoon. I'm so glad you're here. I've been here for so long. Do I have a tale for you? I am not sure where to begin, but I recall in the enthusiasm of youth my penchant for beauty. Not just the beauty of all living things, but the beauty of the night, the darkness, the absence of light. Just as women in mourning wore all black, I clung to this aesthetic, but I wore it around my heart like a heavy cloak. It was engulfing my soul within a tattered shroud of melancholic bliss. While I mourned for no one, I did grieve for all living things and its inevitable end, especially mine. After several years, I began to grow weary of the futile existence of life and found myself longing for complete solitude, away from the chaos and drama of society. I would often spend hours wandering ancient graveyards and cemeteries. Ah, the blissful silence of death, how it so beckoned me like a lover's lustful glance. Oh, my apologies, I am boring you. Please forgive my ramblings, I shall get right to the point. On one melancholic afternoon, as I wandered through Highgate, I stumbled upon an old crypt. This very crypt, in fact. I had noticed that the gate was open, and there, in the middle of the floor, appeared to be what I thought was a viewing slab. As the light was very poor, I could not make out the finer details, but as I looked further in, I saw no caskets. Well, I assumed it was a sample tomb to show off the quality craftsmanship involved in creating such a monument for London's elite. I decided to take refuge within for a short rest before I continued on my forlorn journey. Satisfied that I would not be disturbed, I laid down on the slab and closed my eyes. The absolute silence was so joyful, I could feel a smile forming upon my face, a feeling that I had not felt in many a year. As I slipped into a transitional state of consciousness, my mind began to wander somewhat, and I thought that perhaps it wasn't a slab, but it was a sarcophagus, and there was a corpse lying directly beneath me. I wondered if it was upset that I intruded upon its peaceful rest. Then for a moment, I felt as if I was weightless as my body began to float above the slab. The elation that I was feeling soon ended as I was startled awake by the sound of a grinding stone. In fact, it was the sound of the stone door slowly closing. It ceased with a loud thud, and then my fate was sealed. It was at that moment that I realized that I had made a very grave mistake. The door was closed and I turned within. I couldn't tell if my eyes were open or closed. The darkness engulfed me. I struggled to find my bearings, but I was trapped in an opaque void. As I tried to find the door, I pounded, stomped, and screamed, but to no avail. Time had become frozen in this chamber of solitude. I suddenly yearned for contact, drama, life. After what seemed like minutes, days, months, perhaps even years, I don't know, I had completely lost all concept of time. I eventually resigned myself to my fate. I lied down and closed my eyes. But here you are, and I am so glad that you showed up today. I had felt that I would never leave this place. Oh, how I've actually longed for interaction. The caretaker, oblivious to what the gentleman had been saying, hears a noise, then spies something in the corner of the crypt and flees. The gentleman cries out, "Wait! Where are you going? What is it that frightens you?" The gentleman walks around the slab. Daylight shines upon what the caretaker saw. "Oh dear, it is I that frightens you. It appears that I shall never, ever leave." Welcome back. Oh, was that a sad tale or what? Whew, brings the tears to the eyes. But, moving on. Up next, we've got Lestat, who'll be performing his new single, or his latest single, I should say, A Long Face, from his possibly forthcoming album next year. Who knows? Who can say? Lestat does what he wants. But, so let's give it up for Lestat.
Ooh,
my pretty baby, I got long fangs. Come appraise me, bring your long steaks. That doesn't faze me. I'm an actor in my makeup. I get fatter when we break up. What does it matter who I take up? Another face, another year, another place, another tear. Pick up the pace, rack up the fears. Now we're having fun. You're allegro, I'm andante, we're balletto, prostitue. Another taste, another year, another place, another tear, another chase, another sneer. Without a trace, you disappear. Pick up the pace, pack up the gear, give me some face, a souvenir. Here come the gaze, here comes the fear. Now I have a
By a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where an eidolon named Night on a black throne reigns upright, I have reached these lands but newly, from an ultimate dim Thule, from a wild weird clime that lieth sublime, out of space, out of time. Bottomless vales and boundless floods and chasms and caves and titan woods, with forms that no man can discover for the tears that drip all over. Mountains topping evermore into seas without a shore, seas that restlessly aspire, surging unto skies of fire, lakes that endlessly outspread their lone waters lone and dead, their still waters still and chilly, with the snows of the lolling lily. By the lakes that thus outspread their lone waters lone and dead, their sad waters sad and chilly, with the snows of the lolling lily. By the mountains near the river, murmuring lowly, murmuring ever, by the grey woods, by the swamp, where the toad and the newt encamp, by the dismal tarns and pools, where dwell the ghouls. By each spot the most unholy, in each nook most melancholy, there the traveller meets aghast, sheeted memories of the past, shrouded forms that start and sigh as they pass the wanderer by, white-robed forms of friends long given in agony to the earth and heaven. For the heart, whose woes are legion, 'tis a peaceful, soothing region. For the spirit that walks in shadow, 'tis 'tis an El Dorado, but the traveler traveling through it may not, dare not, openly view it. Never its mysteries are exposed to the weak human eye unclosed. So wills its king, who hath forbid the uplifting of the fringed lid, and thus the sad soul that here passes beholds it but through darkened glasses, by a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where an eidolon named Night on a black throne reigns upright. I have wandered home but newly from this ultimate gloom.
I say, what are you reading about, old boy? Ah, yes, just catching up on some folklore and forgotten legends. I see. Have you found anything fascinating? Indeed, I have. Have you ever heard of the legend of the Man-Bat of Britannia? Ah, I can say with the utmost honesty that I have not. What makes him so legendary? Well, it is said that he had a great knowledge of the dark arts and an obsession with bats, so much so that he wanted to become one. So on one dark night, he called on the devil to sell his soul for eternal life. He had also asked to be able to transform into a bat, but the devil did not appreciate his smugness and gave him a bat suit, then disappeared. So he is actually a man in a bat suit who has worn it for so long that it commingled with his skin. Of course, he is known for his odorous aroma, and they also say he is a bit of a galoot. He supposedly resides not too far from us. A galoot? How so? Well, for instance, he believes he can fly, but in actuality, he cannot. Could be why he was forgotten. Perhaps so. With that being said, would you consider going on a bit of an adventure? Why, yes. What are we looking for? Buried treasure, perhaps? No. Why would you think that? Well, I have some bills that I have neglected and could use the extra compensation to tally up. Well, you'll have to find another way to do that. I'm talking about finding the Man-Bat of Britannia. Oh my, that sounds splendid. How on earth are we going to catch him? I have a plan. Meet me at midnight near the cemetery. This is an unusual place to meet. Quite, but allegedly he resides in this very cemetery. Well, how are we going to catch him? With these. A packet of crisps and a button? Are you serious? Quite so. The legend states that he quite enjoys a good crisp, and as I mentioned earlier, he is a bit of a galoot. Well, how on earth are we going to catch him with a button? Oh, you'll see. Now let's draw him in. Oh, crisps. My favorite. Who dares to tempt fate? I am the Man-Bat of Britannia. Fear my wrath. Oh. Did you see that? You're so correct about the galoot. Oh, what a klutz. How dare you insult me like that? I am the Man-Bat of Britannia. Oh my, what is that odor? Oh Lord, I think I'm going to be sick. Oh dear, that aroma is overwhelming. It smells like rotten frying grease and soiled laundry. Oh, I feel we've made a dreadful mistake. Let us take leave this instant. Wait, please leave the chips. I'm oh so hungry. Oof. Oh, drat. And we are back. Oh, what a fun tale that was. What a fun tale. If you didn't catch the 48-hour Halloween film project, that little short there was in it. So there you have it. So you didn't miss out. But it was a great show, a lot of great puppet films, and some real bangers. It was a good time, good time. Up next, we've got the Ghoul of Madrid, who will be singing the song La Bruja, which means the witch. So let's give it up for the Ghoul of Madrid.
los brazos de una dama, en los brazos de una dama. Ay, qué bonito es volar, ay mamá, me agarra la bruja, me llena de flores, me vuelve racimo de muchos colores, me agarra la bruja, me sauma el pañuelo, me cura de todo lo ajeno. Ay, dígame y dígame y dígame usted, ¿cuántas criaturitas se ha chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 lo sé, ando en pretensiones de chuparme a usted.
Upon the barren branches stalking cold, a sable host their wings of midnight fold. The calling crows a chorus harsh and deep, where shadows dance, where secrets darkly sleep. Their eyes like beads reflecting skies of gray, they watch below where mortals tread their way. A whispered tale of ill, a haunting sight, as twilight fades and darkness claims the night. With beaks like daggers tearing flesh apart, a symbol grim that chills the human heart. They circle high above the withered field, where winter's breath a silent death revealed. Oh, raven's kin, your presence filled the air, a chilling song, a mournful solemn prayer, a glimpse of death, a glimpse of what's to come, as shadows lengthen and the day is numb. Welcome back. We're back so soon. That was a great little poem. I'm not sure who wrote it, but I loved it. So it was a great, great poem. And I was happy to recite that one. Up next, we have Contessa Vantessa, who'll be singing a sideboard song, which was little songs written on a piece of paper that they would sell for halfpence or something like that in the 19th century. And they would often tell tales of murderers and all sorts of crime and stuff like that. Contessa Vantessa will be performing the song Amelia Dreyer, who was a serial killer who killed children in the 19th century. She was a lovely lady, as you'll hear more about her in the upcoming song. So let's give it up for Contessa Vantessa.
Baby farmer has been executed. It's quite time she was put out of the way. She was a bad woman, it is not disputed. Not a word in her favour can anyone say. The old baby farmer, the wretched Mrs. Dyer, at the Old Bailey her wages is paid. In times long ago we'd have made a big fire and roasted so nicely that wicked old jade. It seems rather odd to run down a woman, but this one was hardly a woman at all. To get a fine living in a way so inhuman, carousing in luxury on poor girls' downfall. Poor girls who fall down from the straight path of virtue, what could they do with a child in their arms? The fault they committed they could not undo, so the baby was sent to the cruel baby farm. The old baby farmer, the wretched Mrs. Dyer, at the Old Bailey her wages is paid. In times long ago we'd have made a big fire and roasted so nicely that wicked old jade. Down through the trapdoor, quickly disappearing, poor little victims in front of her eyes. The sound of her own death bell she was a-hearing, the rope round her neck, how quickly time flies. The old baby farmer, the wretched Mrs. Dyer, at the Old Bailey her wages is paid. In times long ago we'd have made a big fire and roasted so nicely that wicked old jade.
beyond the window pane, through the withered and rattling vine, a wee face spangled with silver rain, lovely and wan, stares in at mine. White as a shell upon the sands, where the black billows break and pass, something is pressing tiny hands against the barrier of the glass. Something eerie and fey and pale is peering in from the haunted night at our small room, snug from the angry gale, where faces glow in the firelight. Slant strange eyes under sea-green hair look wistfully in through the window pane. Quick, open the casement. What is there that cries in the wind and the streaming rain? It is gone. It has gone. There is nothing there, blown by the storm to our window pane. Only the night and the chill sea air and the voice of the sun.
Welcome back. Okay. Some great stories there. Of course, Vincent Price, you can't go wrong with the old Vincent here. It's wonderful to hear his voice again and see him in the flesh, he says with a question. Moving on though. People have asked, and people have begged, and I have listened. We are bringing back, by popular demand, the Shadow Man, and he will be performing a song tonight entitled Stella by Starlight. But can you tell me what horror movie that was from? Think about it without cheating, using Google or whatever. What movie was Stella from Starlight from? And so, without further ado, I give you the Shadow Man.
Symphonic theme, that Stella by starlight, and not a dream. My heart, and I agree, she's everything on earth to me.
Don't ever brag about what you do if you saw a ghost, or one will surely come. Don't slam the door because you might pinch some poor soul in it. Don't leave sharp knives lying around either, or some wandering spirit or ghost might get cut with them. Don't go looking over the graveyard wall. If you do, you will see ghosts. Don't laugh at ghosts. They are no joke. In Germany, they say, don't bring an elder branch into the house because ghosts will come in with it. If ever you come upon an old hat or a piece of clothing lying on the ground with a stick across it, don't pick it up. The stick is a sign that it belongs to a ghost. Don't touch it. Don't yawn without covering your mouth with your hand. Ghosts are attracted by yawning. Some people say they will peer in and count your teeth or your fillings. But a very common belief in the world is that your soul can slip out when you yawn, and some ghost can slip in. If this happens, you will sicken and die. Don't ever speak to a ghost unless you really want it to answer, because ghosts have to answer as soon as spoken to.
Thank you for coming to the station, Professor. We understand what an inconvenience it may be for you. Getting to the matter at hand, the body of the suspect is in the morgue, and due to its rather, shall we say, grotesque appearance, we felt it was in poor taste to display the corpse to someone of your stature in its current state. But we found an unusual object next to the body, and we thought that perhaps you may know something about it. Thank you, Constable, but it is unnecessary to give me any special treatment. I'm not sure what you have found that may require my expertise, but I will be more than happy to assist in any manner. Yes, nonetheless, here is the item in question. It appears to be some kind of mask. It was found in the death grip of the individual. Please take a moment to examine it. Yes, of course, thank you, and I'm delighted to be of service. Anything to help resolve the mystery. There, now let's see what we have. Yes, that is it. Oh my. What is it, sir? It is nothing. I will need time to study it. May I take this with me? I see no harm if it will help close the case. Please do. Thank you. I shall return in a day or two. If that is all, I shall take my leave. Ah, yes, thank you for stopping by, Professor. And may we contact you if we have any more questions? Why, yes, of course. One more thing before you depart. Are you sure you don't know why this man was on your property? I'm afraid not. I wish I could be more of assistance, but I have never seen this man before last night. Good day, Constable. Good evening, sir. Can I take your coat? Would you care for a spot of tea? No, that's all right, Mr. Thomas, and yes, I shall take my tea in the study. Yes, sir, I'll bring it right away. Here is your tea, sir, and this telegram just arrived. The delivery man seemed quite winded, as he appeared to be in haste. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. That will be all for this evening. Yes, sir. There are some biscuits and smoked fish on the sideboard if you should require some nourishment. Thank you, Miss Thomas, and good night. Good night, sir. Shall I get that, sir? No need, I shall attend to the door. I'm expecting someone. As you wish. Good night, sir. Constable Billings, what brings you here? I'm glad I caught you. We've had a strange situation at the station. The corpse of the man in question disappeared shortly after your visit. A witness claims the deceased walked out on his own accord. We will get to the bottom of this. Please be on guard this evening until we... Good evening, brother. You look surprised to see me. That was quite a display you put on at the constable's office today. Do you think you convinced the constable you did not recognize me? We may have been born from the same womb, but you are not my brother. My brother died years ago. And as for the constable, it matters not now, does it? The Crown will never find the body that mysteriously walked away. And you know that, unless of course you made an error in judgment. Believe what you want, Viscount, but I have returned to claim what is rightfully mine. Rightfully yours? Since when does theft constitute ownership? Oh, my dear brother, how wrong you are. That's a mighty bold prediction from someone whose weakness I surely know. Enough of this childish banter. I'll get straight to the point. Give me the mask. It is you who are the one without a soul, and by the looks of it, half of your body. Did the mask cost you more than what you had in your bankroll? I was simply in the middle of recharging in the moonlight when the constable came upon me. In that state I am defenseless, a mere inconvenience for eternal life and power. You are weak and powerless. You are at the mercy of my will. We shall see who is weak. Oh, I don't have time for this nonsense. Give me the mask. I shall not. I know what this mask is and the power it holds, and I will not let it fall into your hands ever again. It has driven you mad with power. It is pure evil. Look at what it has done to you. You have lost all of your humanity. What are you going to do? Kill me? You can't. I'm immortal. It appears that you have misjudged me yet again, my dearest sibling. You see, when I heard the mask had been stolen from London, I did a little research of my own, for I knew it was you that would be so foolish. Faking your death, cheating your debtors. It is so you. And for what? Eternal life as a walking corpse? But you see, when they made the mask, they were aware of the power it wielded and created a means to seize those maddened by its power, that of which I was able to procure, as I knew you would return to flaunt your newfound abilities because you are so predictable. Join me, brother. Together we can rule England, live like kings, fulfill our destiny. Our destiny? I think not. It ends here. It ends now. The Blade of Silence. Where did you find it? It was supposed to be buried deep within a tomb. It matters not where I retrieved it. What matters is that I have it, and I'm going to use it to stop you. Why, brother? Why? The simple reason, my dear brother, the mask. I merely used you as a pawn. I'm the one that made it accessible to you. I just couldn't risk my reputation. Whereas you, if you got caught, no one would think any less of you because they would expect it of you. As for your death, self-defense, and the mask, no one knew that I have it except for the constable, and you neatly took care of him for me. So now I must bid you farewell, brother, and thank you. And welcome back. That was another great story. A lot of fun. We hope you enjoyed this special. Of course, this means you're seeing me one last time, and this is the end. Before we depart, I would like to give a shout out to my brother Mike and his partner Krista. What's up? And I'd also like to thank the tremendous folks at El Trastero de Lula for making these amazing puppets for me. They just get better and better every time I create some more ideas in my head, and I just throw them at them and they throw them back to me, and they just look amazing. Also like to give a shout out to my fiend William Westwater, and of course I have to give a shout out to Fernando Santoro for writing some beautiful music and allowing me to use it. And I'd also like to thank you for tuning in and checking out and supporting Marquis Victorian Puppet Theatre. We hope you enjoy it. You've been here for 4 or 5 years now, and we truly appreciate your support. And with that, we wish you all a safe, we wish you all had a safe and happy Halloween. We're a day late, but that's how we roll around here. We're not structured by time. We just do what we want. But again, thank you for joining us. And until the next time, I bid you adieu. And we'll see you on the other side.